Hi guys, and welcome back to the Once You're In podcast.
With your favourite hosts, Reece and Fincanny Coach.
Yeah.
Hope you guys enjoy. Please like, comment, and favourite us on Spotify.
Yeah. Oh, actually, that's becoming a weekly thing, isn't it? We need to check.
What were we on? 47?
We were on 47 last time. Yeah. Do you want to? What episode are we on? 45, 40?
45. Yeah, I'm going to say we're on 53. What are we on?
Oh, right. Oh, I thought you meant the episode. So we're not on episode 53, mate. Tell you that for free. Okay. Drum roll, please. 71.
Jesus Christ, that's good.
Good going, guys. Let's get up to 100, though.
Yeah, we didn't really even ask last week. We kind of just said, cheers, guys.
Yeah, we did a bit. We were like, let's get it up to 100. We'll keep asking that until we do get to 100, and then we'll ask for a higher number.
And then once we get 10K, can we do a 10K plaque giveaway?
Yeah. Give away the plaque? I'm not giving away the plaque, mate. It's important.
No, we hold it together and we say 10K ratings or whatever. That's what we'll go for. But
right. Do you want to talk to us about your nip nips?
Yeah, the nip slip. To be fair, I've been asked a few questions, so I'll read the ones because I got a few. What's the plan for recovery after surgery? I asked this on Finn's because I saw it first, but how are you mentally going to deal with not training for so long? Hope surgery went well though and got rid of your moves. Love you. Cheers, mate. Kiss. Thanks for that. I don't even know. Oh no, Tom Hemmings has actually messaged me a few times, but I don't know who he is, other than just he's messaged me a few times. And then how's the chest nappy? Feel like you're getting hugged for once. Fantastic, that's nice. I'm guessing Finn might have been asked a few questions. Everything's all good. It was a very weird procedure, if I'm honest. It's very, very strange. I said to Finn,
"Oh my God,
what's this?"
I've only just had a chance to look.
That's a stupid amount of questions,
mate. What is going on? And I hit 12K followers. Fucking hell, my coaching prices are going right up.
Hit 12K followers, gets asked 20 questions. He's like, that's an extra 25.
That's extra. All my clients. Hi guys. Didn't know if you have heard, but I'm kind of a big deal now.
I hit 12K followers. Mate, fair play. I'm impressed. I mean, I overtook you at 11.6, and I mean, I thought you were done and dusted.
Mate, you do you know what kicked me up the arse?
What was it?
My mum. My mum's on 13,500 or something.
I'm catching. I'm 13.3.
My mum overtook me, and I was like, "What the fuck? What has my life come to?"
You're not even the most.
A year ago, or 2 years ago, my mum didn't even know what Instagram was. Well, she did, but didn't use it. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
Yeah, no, it's fine, mate. It's fine. Procedure was weird. It was strange. You go in, they basically draw circles around your nipples. I videoed it. I'm going to do a post review. I'm going to get it uploaded this week. So I'm going to do a post-surgery review. And I kind of spoke about it beforehand. So it's a bit weird. You walk in, they draw circles around your nipples. You then go into a room where it's massive white and it looks like a place where people get sliced open. And there's a cross, a crucifix on a bed. And I'm guessing I'm lying there. And then I walked in, this woman, she was lovely, starts singing and shouting and stuff and just trying to make...
Was she lovely though? What did you describe her as to me off air?
I don't know what I did. She wasn't lovely. She was just a bit I hope she's not doing the job. Because if she was, I'd be like, are you sure you're qualified for this?
Sure you know what you're doing?
Yeah, she was just there to kind of calm you down. But in reality, my response was, God, she's fucking mental. So basically, she was singing and trying to grab my hand and say, "You're going to enjoy yourself." I'm like, "I'm really not. This isn't going to be enjoyable. I'm not going to come back and say, I wish I could come back."
I want to do that every week.
Yeah, fucking hell. I've got a small lump again. Oh, it's such a shame. I get myself sliced open. So no. So yeah, walked in, they basically lie you down, they then put you with loads of antiseptic wipe. It's like a paste that's really dark. It looks like really dark fake tan. And they were and then anyway, so that numbs the area. They then jab your nipples with I think it felt like it was in my nipple. But at this point they've put a cover over your face so you can't really see. So you literally can only look at a blue little it's almost like a blue bag they put over your head, but they've got a space at the top so you can breathe, and you can look up, but you can't look forward or down. And then you feel like loads of little injections. I'm it feels a bit weird in the nipple. It felt a bit strange, but it's around there. And then they kind of ask you if you can feel anything, and then they just start chopping into you. And so you feel like on my left side, I felt like I said to you, I felt like every cut, but it felt like a pinch. And they were saying, like, talk to us, like, tell us if you can feel stuff. Like, you can ask questions. So I was like, I can feel that. And they were like, is it bad? And I'm like, not really. It's like just a pinch. And then eventually I waited about 5 minutes and I was like, can you see inside me? And they were like, yes, we can. And I'm like, fantastic, carry on, please. So then they basically felt like they just pull your nipple. And it just felt like they were like twisting your nipple. And then eventually they say, yeah, cool, like, gland out, job done, we're going on to the other side. They sew you
removed, you said.
Gland removed, mission succeeded, next one. And they sew you back up. And then, like, they do the right side, and the right side only took about 10 minutes in comparison. And they said basically they're a bit more efficient once they know what they're working with. I think mine was 7 grams each. The average they take out is 20 grams. So it was like less than half of what they usually take out. And they were pretty small from what I saw afterwards, which is a bit weird because they had them on like a plate, on like a tray next to me. And then they put you in a real tight top. They put pretty much like a vest over you. So for the video listeners, like, I'm in this tight vest, which, to be fair, they'll tell me off, this should be on my nipple, but it comes down and it's annoying. And then I've got to keep this top on till Monday. I haven't showered since Wednesday, which is a bit meh. And the top that I wore,
Sunday night, by the way, guys.
Yeah, Sunday. So it's literally like been 3 days at this point, because they said don't shower on the day, just shower the night before. So I was like, okay, cool. I've showered, bath the night before, and then they said bring a top that you can change into that's tight. So I've brought a Pursue Fitness one that legitimately hasn't been washed in probably about 9 months, because it's just an old one that I used to wear when I was about 20. So I've brought a top, and they were like, yeah, you're in this till Monday. And I'm like, this doesn't already smell good. So I've drowned myself in aftershave. It doesn't smell that bad. Fortunately, Sanai's gone home, so it's where I'm just on my own. So I was like, I don't really care if I smell that bad. And yeah, I've got to be in the vest till Monday. I can take the top off, but the vest has got to stay on for 2 weeks. But then, like, I'm going to take it off. I'm going to take it on holiday, but when I get on holiday, that'll be 12 days. And I'm just not going to wear it for those 2 days because I'm a rebel. I'm hard. So, yeah, to be fair, I might, if it feels sensitive, I'll still wear it. But I don't know, I feel like I've covered everything well there. But should I say actually post? I didn't really feel it. Like, I didn't feel it afterwards. After about 5 hours, the pain meds wore off. I felt it. It was like really, like every breath, I was like, oh, it stings. And it was like, it was quite painful on the night. And then the sleeping process was a bit weird because every time you move, you just wake up. Because if you get, I'm guessing like in any scenario, if you feel pain when you move, you would be like when you're sleeping, you'd wake up. So I must have woken up about 50 times during the night. But since then, like Friday, it was okay. It was a bit better. Today, it's pretty okay. It feels like I've just got like a slight injury where I'm like, if I move too quickly, I'm like, oh, it's a bit sensitive. But I can move my arms, I can work, I can do everything I need to. I can prop myself out of my chair. It's just like you almost, because there's a little bit of pain, you just feel like you're a bit sensitive. So like, for example, I can't flex my pec fully, but I can, but I probably wouldn't want to because like your head's like, oh, there's something not 100% there. So
we were surprised, weren't we? Like I thought at least like the day or two after that you'd be like arms by your side, not really be able to move that much. Like any sort of horizontal adduction would feel a bit awkward. But you were like straight when we FaceTime straight after, you were like, yeah, I'm sound.
Yeah, they said afterwards, they were like, obviously you need someone on standby for like 2 or 3 days. That's what they said. They're like, have someone standby next to you for 2 or 3 days. You'll need help getting out of your bed. They didn't say it was awful, but they just said it's about pain threshold. And like, again, I'm not going to be like, I'm hard, I can deal with it, because it's all about like how you are as an individual. There would be some people who probably have it and go, oh my God, it's the worst thing in the entire world. I can't move, I can't work. And I was literally like, you said straight away, you mentioned when I FaceTimed you, I was like, mate, I'm sound, like I'm cool, everything's fine. So yeah, it's not that bad. It's pretty cool. And yeah, like doing all right, to be fair. It's been quite nice because obviously we were speaking yesterday about like, it's pretty much in line with what I would usually have as a deload. So even though I can't train, I don't really want to, but then because I can't train, I'm watching some people train and I'm like, oh, it would be quite good to train. So the joys of not being able to train. But yeah, and then to be fair, I'll answer that Tom's question. A holiday aligns perfectly with the kind of psychological sort of like being out of the gym. So for example, on Friday and Saturday this week, I most likely will probably go to the gym. I'll walk on the treadmill. I'll align it with the time Finn would train. I can maybe just, I'm not going to do anything really, but I'm just going to go to the gym, hop on a treadmill, get back to WhatsApp, just armed, going to the gym. And then on Monday, I'm going on holiday, and then I'm back in a week. And then by that point, it would pretty much be coming up to 3 weeks. And they said I'm allowed to be doing lower. And to be fair, like, I'll just see if I can do some tricep extensions, if I can do some curls, if I can do some more body stuff. I most likely will be able to after 3 weeks. And then by the 4th week, they were like, yeah, you should be back up to not 100%, because obviously you've got to get back up to training again. But they were like, yeah, you'll be able to train for body after 4 weeks. So 4 weeks passes, and I'll be like, yeah, cool, I'm back in the gym. And I'll be training and building myself back up. So yeah, it's not going to be too much of a damage. Like with the holiday line, if I don't have the holiday, I think 3 weeks of doing nothing would be a bit like, oh.
Yeah, you get a bit fed up.
Yeah, but it is what it is. Like, it's not, if it was 6 weeks or 10 weeks, then fucking hell, okay. But you may do. Like, if an injury was to happen and, like, God forbid I wouldn't be able to train, I'd be like, okay, cool. But, like, I'm sat here.
It could be a lot worse, couldn't it? It could be like,
exactly.
You've been in a car accident or something and can't train for a year, or you die.
You can't train forever.
Can't train forever if you're dead, mate.
Yeah, exactly. So try not to die, guys.
So count yourself lucky and stop moaning, all right?
Yeah, exactly. I could have died. Fuck me.
Right. Should we get into the questions?
Yeah, mate, because you're fucking popular now. 12K.
You know what? I've just had a look.
What?
Oren, Oren O'Neill.
Yeah, sacked you.
Sacked me. Sent me about 30 boxes.
Is that why?
It's like one big story.
Mate, Gulliver sent me a story as well today.
Did he?
Yeah, he sent me like a fun fact or something.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, I got an announcement to make, guys.
Is Ped too busy?
Ped messaged me, and this is actually like serious. Ped messaged me saying that he's got like some issues going on personally, so he's not going to do the fun fact. And I was like, that's so sad. But I was like, mate, completely understand. Like, sending all my love. And then, to be fair, he sent me a voice note, and I'll be honest, I've just realised now I haven't listened to it yet. And this was 4 days ago.
Do we listen to it on the live stream, or do you reckon that'd be disrespectful? Because it might be
disrespectful. I'll listen to it another time. But if, everybody out there, just send your best wishes to Ped.
Drop Ped a message, drop him a follow. Everyone who listens, like, please, from the Once You're In gang, we're sending our love and respects. We hope to get you back on the podcast for the fun fact soon.
Yeah, that'd be a lovely message. I'm sure he'd like that.
Yeah, actually would.
Are you ready?
Right. Yeah, go for it, mate.
So this is Danny H Fitness. Danny _H Fitness, but it's not Danny H Fitness model.
I got a follow from him, and I was going to send it to you saying, I thought my day was almost made. It was Danny H Fitness model. It wasn't. It was Danny H Fitness, no model.
Yeah, he's not a model. No, he's not a model. No. He says, all right, lads, love the pod. Cheers, mate. What is your best tips? That should say, what are your best tips, mate? What are your best tips for attacking a peak week?
Well, I competed most recent, so well, to be fair, we both agree on this. Like, if you're ready early, it doesn't really matter. Like, you want to be looking good before. And I absolutely hate, and it's the same with anything prep related. People think that you can bring a brand new physique and you could be like, oh, I'm just so much better. He's mutated. It's going to become so much better for a peak week. Ideally, the whole point of a peak week is to, and almost the build up to any show, is to drop fatigue. You bring cardio down, you bring steps down, you keep some steps in there, you want to bring them down to a minimum, but you want to pretty much drop off as much stress as possible. And then ideally you want to have a slight feed up if needed to let's say, have a little bit more like intramuscular fullness and therefore demonstrate a better viewpoint for your physique. Now, if you're looking shit a week out, or even if you're looking average, you're not going to be like transforming. You're not going to instantly be like, oh my God, peak week saved me. It won me the show. It's not going to be the case. You would have won the show the week before. It would have made a difference. So the best thing for peak week is to get ready early, drop stress, not think too much about, let's say, trying to manipulate absolutely everything, and just think, right, a linear carb load, building carbs up, keeping things the same. You almost need to find the look, find what you've done, and then just hold the look. So the best look I had last year was for finals, and literally I copied the 2 days prior, I just did a trial of doing different manipulations of how I looked, with relevant to food, relevant to water, relevant to just like intake, expenditure. And then the day before, Finn was like, yeah, this is the look, just do exactly the same. And I literally did the exact same day on repeat. And I was like, and then I just stepped on stage. So you don't need to be making massive manipulations. I did for the first 2 shows where I played around with like carbs building up, then no carbs the day before, trying to dry out. It wasn't a bad look. It was a good look, but I was flatter and I was like, it's just too much stress. And you should ideally just, especially at the level that most people who'd be listening to this compete at. If you're top tier, obviously a peak week is going to be quite big because we're talking marginal gains. That's going to be the difference between finishing first and last. In most amateur shows, the winners are looking good a week to 2 weeks before. It doesn't matter when the show date is.
Yeah, I think like ultimately you can do more damage in a peak week than good. So the less that you do, often the better it's going to be. And I would argue even more in natural athletes because you've got less muscle. So you've got less room to play with, really. And I also think, like, don't get me wrong, there can be, there can obviously be room to, actually manipulate minor things. Like you can be looking at, sodium intake's going to change over the peak week, fluid intake's going to change over the peak week. You can change loads of minor things, but like Reece said, if you're already in shape and you're already happy with the look, all that those other things are going to do are actually probably make you look worse. And the added stress of doing those things is going to have a negative impact on the look. So the less that you can do, the better, to be honest. And yeah, like I say, especially for natural guys, like ultimately, if you're stepping on stage and you're going to be 160 pounds, is it really going to be much of a different look if, let's say, you've pulled fluid out, or you've had some fucking creatine and some vitamin B before you go on, like, in the days prior and shit. I don't think, if anything, you just look smaller. You look smaller and you look flatter, because although you're trying to pull water from sort of the extracellular water, the subcutaneous water, trying to pull that away, you need fluid. You need to be hydrated. Yeah, it's like when people don't drink any water on the day. It's like, what are you doing? You're not going to get a pump. You're going to look flat. Like, you need water to actually shuttle carbohydrates to the muscle. So when people are trying to...
If you drink water, Finn, it goes straight to your midsection.
Yeah, you just get bloated.
Yeah, and then when you're fat and soft, and it's not because you've not actually got yourself stage lean, you can just go, I fucking overspilled. Just drank a bit too much water.
Yeah, it was the water in the morning. It was that extra sip. Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck. But yeah, God. I think, I don't, if anything, like, I find it weird that people are happy to diet for, like, let's say 20 weeks. And then in the final week, they think that it's going to change drastically by doing this, and this. It's not at all. Like, and like we've said before, people will post like peak week transformation. They look the same.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a transformation and go, fucking hell, they peaked them amazingly. Yeah. That peak week is insane. No, they'd already prepped them well. So they were lean. They were already in good shape. Did the peak week really change anything? No. Like, so ultimately,
it's the same as like when you go from a show to a show and you're like, came into this show much tighter, so much leaner and tighter. And it's like, no, you didn't. You literally weren't as stressed, and you just kind of got you've already done a show, so you're like, it's the second show, I've already got that stress out of the way, and then you look a little bit better, or the lighting's a bit better, or
it's the same kind of thing when
posing's a bit better.
When post show, when people binge, and then the following day they're like, I should have competed today. I look so much better. And it's like, you look better because you relaxed. Last night, you just chilled out. You probably had the best sleep you've had in months. Like, yes, you've eaten more, but the reason you look better isn't because you've gone and had 10,000 calories. You also look softer and you look a bit watery, but you've got you're a little bit more vascular. And also you just because you're relaxed. Like, I remember I looked better. Literally, after my show, I went home and had some cereal because obviously I was out for longer. I'd missed like 2 meals. So I had some cereal to account for like the carbs that I would have had. And after the cereal, I was like, fucking hell, I look mint. And I was like, me and Shannon were like, what the fuck? Like, we were in like the lighting in the hotel room was decent. And like, we took some photos and I was like, I should have competed now. But we're like, but it's because because you've competed, you're so much more relaxed. You're like, you don't even realize it, but it's a massive weight off your shoulders. Even though I wasn't nervous or stressed about it, even knowingly, subconsciously, that's still got to go and do that. And you've been, what you've done for me, it was like 30 odd weeks, nearly 40 weeks that I've put my body under stress to do that moment. Even though I felt calm, obviously there was stress. And after that, you're going to look better. You're going to feel so much better. Like we said, like I think we spoke about in the podcast before, like we didn't have a boner for probably like 2-3 months before the first show. And then the night after the first show, you're like, Oh, I'm
No, no,
sad
no.
again.
Mine wasn't the night after. Mine was the finals, the night before, I think, and then like midway through the first to third show. It wasn't after the first. The first show we got
Mine was
in.
the day of
Oh,
the show.
oh, yeah, I was
Mine was
smashed.
on
Yeah.
stage.
Was on stage.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. No wonder. It's like everyone turned to the side and you had David in front of you and you were just looking at him and you
Give
were
him
like,
a little poke.
yeah, you were like, oh, sorry, pose down. And then someone did a most muscular in front of your face. And you just, oh, mate, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Judges, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it.
Right,
You
we've
know what?
answered
Like,
that.
oh, no, I was, carry on. Yeah, go for it. Right, do you want me to do a question?
What were you going to say?
I was going to say, you know, Fitex, I shouldn't say this, it's going to be getting me in trouble. You know, Fitex, they do the overalls, they do them together. Like, they do them all collectively.
Did they?
Yeah, mate. They used to, like, you have men's physique guys and like bodybuilders, and you go through quarter turns and stuff. I don't know how it works. It's very, very bizarre. So, trust me, the overall you get men's physique guys. Like, and I was gonna say like what happened. Like, I don't know if the overall you get the girls as well, or if it's a girl overall, a male overall. Be like, oh, sorry, I'm really sorry. She got too close.
Oh my, posing down with him. I didn't think they did that.
Yeah, mate, they do it. They literally, you'll get like an open bodybuilder doing a side chest next to a men's physique's like side transition.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's awful. It's the only part of the federation I really don't understand because it makes like a quarter turn to the right. I'd be like, am I doing my right shot? Or am I doing like a, you know?
Weird, isn't it?
Yeah, imagine like you're going through your muscularity ones and you've got a guy hitting a side chest and you're just like, it's just like, you know, hand on your waist.
It was weird.
Yeah, I'd almost say, can I just like, if I'm not going to win, can I just like, if there's a guy who's amazing, can I just put some like my legs for being conditioned? I'm like, right, because I've got like some like a thong or whatever that I can change it to. Anyone got some posing trunks? That'd be funny. If you won the physique overall and you were like, fuck it, I'm going out there. I'm not going to win. There's an absolute freak. You're like, fuck it.
Know.
Get me some trunks.
You're the freak, mate.
That's what it is. Yeah, definitely. Right.
Not anymore now. You can't train. Lost all your muscle.
Exactly. Lost all my muscle. Yep. Right. Okay. Best options to self-coach and learn, and how to start coaching / get known. Well, the latter, mate. Just start. Literally, we say it all the time. Just start. Post your training. Post what you do. Coach a few people that you know. Put yourself out there. Don't try and get into it instantly. Just kind of build yourself up over time. It unfortunately takes time. If you're gonna think you're gonna hit 20 clients, if you put online coach space available, you're not. It's really not going to be the case. And then best options to self-coach and learn. I mean, literally treat yourself like you're coaching yourself.
The podcast is the best place to learn.
Yeah. Listen to podcasts. Listen to people who are above you in knowledge. But when it comes to your own body, understand your own body. Don't just track your body weight and not write it down, or don't even track your body weight and just train. Like, look at all your metrics and try and pretend that you're like coaching somebody. So have a look at your biofeedback. Have a look at your training feedback. Have a look at your general feedback and think, right, what works, what doesn't work. Take your photos, take checking photos. Things that, like, for example, make you accountable to yourself is going to help, because that's what most people need with a coach, is accountability, because they won't do it on their own. And then you just end up spinning your wheels and not really getting anywhere. Sound cool? Your question, mate?
It's from Skeb Oddle. Once finished diet phase, would deload needed before pushing bodyweight back up?
Really depends on the situation, where you are from a fatigue standpoint. Oh, wait, no, mate, you need a maintenance phase. You need to do a maintenance phase for any phase nowadays.
I think, obviously, you're going to accumulate diet fatigue. It depends how lean you've got. But I would almost argue base your deloads more so on your training fatigue. Yeah. So, obviously, let's say between maybe, it's different for every individual, but let's say maybe between every 6 and 12 weeks, you might start to feel pretty trashed. Obviously, it depends on the person. I have some clients, and you were saying, who have trained for months and months and months on end because they don't train that hard and they're not that strong yet, so they don't need deloads. And they never say that they're struggling. Hey, it's giving me a thing saying this meeting will end in 10 minutes. Upgrade now to remove. But I don't know why it's never done that before.
Oh, mate, do we need to buy a greater? Do we need to upgrade the Zoom? Do we have to pay a membership for it now?
I don't know.
That's weird. Yeah, it's come up on mine as well. Oh no, guys!
We'll just leave it, and if it cuts out, we can always like try and clip the bits together.
Yeah, we'll do a part 2. Oh yeah, mate, that'd be easy. I'm guessing should be easy.
Yeah, but I'd have to like clip it together on iMovie or something, and then it's not a problem. But yeah, I would more so base your fatigue from your training fatigue, and then in terms of diet fatigue, instead of deloading, I'd be looking at things like diet breaks and refeeds.
Yeah, or high days, like coming out and then going into a reversal. It depends. Did he say going into a gaining phase afterwards, or was that not
Yeah,
part?
so would you need a deload before pushing back up? But
No,
not
the diet
necessarily.
fatigue, the diet fatigue is going to be onset through the diet. If you want to bring that off, literally just up your food. Like if I was like at the end of if you're really, really lean, your training volume would most likely represent that, resulting in you not really needing to deload because your volume wouldn't be that high. It would be quite low. So it depends really. It really depends. If you've not deloaded for a decent amount of time, then cool, go for it. Like Finn said, go for training and not so let's say just because of the diet.
Cool.
Do you want me to go for one, mate?
Yeah.
Will Ryan Terry win Olympia this year? If no, who are you thinking? No. Brandon Hendrickson will win.
Ryan Terry's a little bit past it now, and he bless him.
Well, he won the Arnolds last year, and he was the deserved winner.
Yeah.
So he won, so that means he must be the best. So yeah, he's definitely going to win the Olympia. And to be fair, I don't know if you knew. He bent a gym pit at Premier?
Did he?
I don't know, mate. Did you know that?
How?
Doing a seated row, form was appalling. He was throwing it around. Yeah, honestly, mate.
I can't believe it. No, never told me that.
Hey, we've used that gym pit.
I know, it's claim to fame. This is from Matt, Butcher's Wet Dream.
Yeah.
He says, what is your pre-workout routine at home and gym?
Make my meal, eat my meal, watch something. Usually it's the only meal that I actually try and watch something to take my mind away from work. So Saturday,
switch to athlete mode.
Yeah, switching to athlete mode. Saturday social, Sky Sports, like YouTube channel, fantastic videos then. It's usually something football related. When I was in prep, I watched stuff like training wise. I think that was
I'll be honest, I very rarely watch.
I don't watch
training videos. Like I watch because our work is obviously revolved around training. Like I've watched that many training videos all day, every day, talking about training. When I'm eating and I'm trying to sort of actually switch off for 5 minutes, like obviously when it's pre-workout, I'll watch something like football, golf, anything on YouTube that just switches me off from work and bodybuilding mode, which people might find weird because I'm going to train, but I don't need that sort of external motivation to make.
I've never watched Ian Valier pull 5 plates or 6 plates off the floor for like 20 reps and gone, now my deadlifts are going to be fucking amazing.
Visualize that when I'm going into my own set.
Yeah, Ian can do it. It's not that he's got 50 pounds extra of tissue on me and he's like 7 years older. No, it's because he did it. Now I can do it. It's not the case. And to be fair, I can pull 5 plates for 20. So yeah, get better, Ian. That's what it is. But in seriousness now, I just watch something video wise. I then would pretty much drive to the gym. I basically eat my pre, make my intra after my pre, get myself ready before, after. I don't really have a routine with that.
I have more of a routine.
Really? And then I go into the car, I drive to the gym, I then train.
Spend 45 minutes sat in the car making your pre-workout.
Yeah, it's a few minutes. Carry on, mate. What's your routine? Do you put your right sock on first?
So in the morning, I'll come up, I'll do my cardio. Well, to be fair, this is irrelevant. Anyway, when I'm making meal 1, I will make my I'll make my intra workout. I'll make my pre-workout, which is just a pump product, and then I will make my post-workout meal as well. So I've made all of that ready to just take with me to the gym, because I'll eat my post-workout at the gym or in the car.
No.
So that's all done. And then when it comes to actually pre-workout time, I will obviously make sure that I've finished with work or generally finish with check-ins. Like pretty much it'll be the same with you now. Check-ins are all the way up until pre-workout meal.
Yeah.
And then I'll eat, I'll again watch something, and then I will go over there, pick up the food and drinks that I made earlier, take them to the car, drive to the gym, and then I'm sorted.
So much more routine than me, mate. That's ridiculous.
Mate, you were like, I don't know when I make my intra.
No, I do.
What's wrong with you?
I make it after I eat.
Have a fucking structure, you mess.
Mate, are you telling me? So wait. How long do you have between your pre-workout meal and your training session? Only half an hour or 45 minutes?
A pre-workout, it just depends how long the drive is to the gym.
We need 60 to 90 minutes for us to properly digest and utilise those nutrients.
I keep shitting myself.
Fucking hell, mate. You need to push that meal back, man. Oh, shocking. Right. Is it my question? Or is it? Yeah, it's mine, isn't it? How would you structure your morning around the gym session starting at 5:30? Now, it's from Harry Woodcock. Harry, I've got a bone to pick with you. He messaged me, and I will say, Harry, you seem like a nice lad. He messaged me saying, hey, mate, like, sorry, I've got a question for the podcast at the end. And he was like, sorry, I've not got back, like, about the coaching. He was like, I'm really tempted to take it up when I can from a financial standpoint. But I've sent him 2 application responses in the last year, and he hasn't got back to either one. So,
obviously not impressed enough.
No, but and I always want to say, Harry, just from a personal standpoint, mate, like, just drop
Harry,
me a message.
sort yourself out, mate.
Yeah, sort yourself out. Drop me a message and say, hey, mate, hopefully all is good. Thanks for the video. Thanks for taking your time out. I can't afford it right now, but I will look to...
We've said that, haven't we? Like,
yeah.
I'd much rather someone just say, mate, thank you very much, but I just can't afford it right now. But we've had people where they just don't message you back, and then they apply again a year later, and you're like, well, you'll go, the price is obviously more now. Yeah. And they're like, oh, shit, I can't afford it. It's like, well, maybe you should have messaged me back.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so basically he's asked, how would you structure your morning around a gym session starting at 5:30? Should we leave it and get back to him in a year? I'm tempted.
Tell him we can't afford to speak to him. No, 5:30. It depends on your work schedule. Like if you work night shifts, then 5:30 in the morning is just after you've finished or whatever. But I'm assuming that you get up and then go and train. So training that early, to be fair, it's up to you. I know some people are like, oh, I don't have an appetite in the morning, but I'd argue it doesn't matter, just eat. If you don't have an appetite, just get up a little bit earlier and you'll get used to doing that. Like a lot of people say, you know, I don't have an appetite. I simply can't eat before a certain time in the morning. You can. You just have to adapt and get used to doing it. It's just because you never do it. So when you do it, it feels weird. It's like when you get up in the middle of the night to go on holiday. It's like, oh, feels horrible. But if you were to get up at that time every day and, you know, shift your sleep routine to that time, you'd feel sound in the space of a week or so. But anyway, so if it was me, I would probably get up at 4. I would pretty much eat straight away. Maybe go on a small walk just to feel a bit more awake. Eat straight away, so 4:30, and then I would go and train. That is how I'd structure my morning. I wouldn't do any work or anything beforehand because you haven't got time. And then if you really don't want to have food, I would just have my pre-workout meal as the meal the night before. I would then train in the morning, obviously just on caffeine and EAAs as an intra workout and some carb powder. So you're then not having to eat in the morning. But for me, I know that I would prefer training after eating closer to the session. Even though it is in the morning, I still would prefer to do that. And whenever we've had to do like early-ish morning sessions, we'll still always have a meal.
Yeah, we always feel pretty good. But if we were to train fasted, I don't think, like, I've trained fasted, I just feel like you don't have much of an oomph, like you don't have the same power. And it might just be in your head because you're like, or it might be in my head. But I think we both said the same. Like, I'd much rather just get up a bit earlier, get a meal in, and go from there. But if you don't want to, you could, like, as Finn said, you just utilize your intra and maybe almost have your intra as a bit of like a pre-workout. So sip on it while you're on the way to the gym. Therefore, you've got some carbs like available to utilize for energy. And then what you can do is you could potentially finish that off by like exercise 1 or 2. And then you've got some kind of protein derivative through EA. And then likewise, some carbs from like a highly branched like dextrin, dextrose, etc. Or whatever. But you can't have dextrose actually because it doesn't digest well with anybody. It's the worst thing in the entire world.
You've got to get HBCD. Don't care if you can't afford it. You've got to get it.
No, it doesn't care. And you might not even be sleeping or training to all the way there from an intensity standpoint. Like you might just leave 10 reps in reserve. Finn's had an application response. Finn, I can tell whenever Finn does this, it's like, yes, application.
We do, don't we? Every time we get one, we'll like go over to each other in the gym and show the email. Yes.
Come on, get in another. Fantastic. So yeah,
it says less than a minute before it's going to cut us off. So
right. So this is basically end of part 1.
I'm just going to leave it and see if it does cut us off. Then we'll start a new one. But if it doesn't, then Zoom's just we've just absolutely done Zoom. Yeah. Zoom's threatened us and we've just stood there and gone, go on then.
All right.
Zoom's just had our pants down on it. We're literally flagging it off and it's just cut us off.
So Zoom's clearly, you can only do, half-hour meetings now?
Mate, I don't know what's going on. I think that was 45 minutes. I'm not sure. Yeah, probably. She came on just after 1:15. I don't know. Yeah, weird. We'll see. If it keeps doing it, I'll just upgrade because it's took money about, you know.
That application response goes straight to
straight to the Zoom upgrade.
Yeah, exactly. Hit 12K for extra 25 quid on the coaching. That's what it's gonna be.
Did we respond to the last question?
What was the last question, mate? Do you remember? No idea. I'm remembering.
Right, next one. I'm pretty sure I did it. Will Jones, fitness, PT, rugby, football. Yep. What to logbook if you forget/unsure of rep count and didn't film? Leave blank? ? Got to do the set again, mate.
Yeah, got to do the set again straight away. You're like, oh, I didn't count, didn't video it. Got to do it again.
Straight again. Not even allowed to rest. Just do it again.
Yeah. No, I'd take a guess. This is what I'd do. I'd take a guess, and I'd probably be really like, I'd be very generous in the sense of giving me another rep or another 2 reps. So like, usually would know in the ballpark of where you finished, just nearer, like, like if you were to guess, you'd be like, right, it was probably between rep 8 and 11. Put down 11, and then next week you're like, fucking hell, I got 11 reps, I need to beat that. But you might put 11 ? So therefore, at least it's going to push you, and you can most likely know from the following. I make it hard.
Do that. Put a number, but put a question mark. That's what I'll always do. If I ever haven't filmed it, I'm not 100% sure. I'll put what I think it was and then just question mark.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. Right. Yes or no, if you got offered 200k to participate in the Dubai Porta Potty? I don't know what that is. Reece. Yeah, I don't know what that is, Reece, mate. Like, speaking to myself, I don't know what that 200k. I'm guessing Porta Potty, like, do you just, like, in Dubai, does all this...
Is he on about 200 grand or 200,000 followers? Because if it's followers, I'll do anything.
Yeah, you do anything to follow. That's what it is. But 200k? Nah, don't need that.
I don't know what it is. Is it... Do you want to Google it?
Yeah, I'll give it a Google.
I'll answer the next one while you do that. Will Bertolini. What to do with a client that doesn't weigh themselves and won't send check-in pics?
Well, you've got to understand that's their limitation. Like, yeah, you try and I'd say educate them on the reasons why and the benefits, but it's a client's choice at the end of the day, and some people might not see it from your end.
Yeah, you've got to understand like everybody's own privacy and things like that. You got to be respectful, but I would exactly that. You've got to educate them and say, well, especially like depends on the phase and depends on what their goals are. If it's someone who's just literally trying to get a bit healthier and a bit fitter and a bit stronger, then I wouldn't even worry about it. But if it's somebody who is, let's say, trying to get a lot leaner, trying to, actually pursue a specific phase, like, right, and I want to go on a fat loss phase because I'm going on holiday in 20 weeks time, then generally you're going to need to say like, look, we need some of these metrics to actually be able to see if you're doing the right thing. Unless if it's a one-to-one client, it's a little bit different because obviously you can see them in person and you can assess, are they getting leaner? But yeah, it can be difficult. I've had clients like that in the past, like when I was first sort of starting up, and it is quite difficult, but you just got to sort of explain to them. And if they're still not willing to do it, that's fine. Say, right, that's okay. Just understand the consequences of that can have, the limitations that it can have. Yeah, I'm still going to do everything possible to try and help you. I'm still going to do, as much as I can. But ultimately, if you're not willing to do these things, that's fine. But just understand it might slow down your progress. It might limit your progress quite a lot.
I'd say so. Right, we've got Gulliver's fun fact. Right, if you could only pick one for the rest of your career, I love that, training career, which would it be? RDL, SLDL, conventional, and I'm going to guess that you'd probably say any other hip hinge. So dumbbell RDL, like a deficit pull, like a rack pull, most efficient exercise in the book. What would you say, mate?
Just conventional.
Yeah, I'd say an SLDL just because it suits me a little bit better. But like a pull from the floor, it's easy. Like, and to be fair, I doubt that you're going to be like, oh my God, did your hips drop a little bit lower than they need to there? Did you just deadlift? Did you just conventional?
You're only allowed to do one.
Yeah, you're only allowed to do a stiff leg pull, Reece. That's it. You're banned. Get out. I don't think that would happen.
I think people like overanalyze. We've said before, like people overanalyze a stiff leg or a deadlift. Like just bend over, get tight, wherever your knees lie, pick it up. Yeah. Like people overanalyze it too much. I have to keep it as a stiff leg.
Yeah, that gets heavier over time. Congrats. Probably growing, like especially when it comes to a pull. Like it's one of the only exercises. I'm not going to say obviously form is important. It's the sort of first forefront. But if the load is getting greater on a hip hinge and you're picking it up from the floor and the form is staying fairly similar, and
safe as long as you're staying safe with it to an extent. Like
I can overthink every time, and you're like, oh my God, my knees flex a tiny bit at the end of the rep. Yeah, most likely will do. It's your body shifting you into a position where you're probably going to be stronger. It's not the end of the world. Your question, mate?
Jamie Reece says, any experience with targeting hamstrings with a hyperextension? If so, any tips?
Okay, well, you're more probably educated and like from my own personal experience. I don't mind a hyperextension. I've always felt them in my hamstrings. Like some people can get quite a good glute connection. You perform it slightly different anyway. Like I am always just my hamstring just take over. It's probably because they're the best body part out of like probably my posterior chain and the movements that kind of enable an exercise that to occur. And yeah, I've only probably ever done a hyperextension maybe 10 times in my entire training career. I think there's definitely a place. I think it's a good exercise. But for me, I think there's more efficient exercise that I probably need to prioritize to extend for my physique.
So I'd generally say with myself and with clients, the easiest cue to try and make you feel it a little bit more in your hamstrings is just to keep your feet straight in comparison to externally rotating. And obviously people will be like, yeah, but that's only at the ankle. But if you externally rotate at the ankle and you've got pretty much, your knees are pretty much extended or very slight flexion at the knee, then what that's going to do with your feet externally rotated, it's going to basically put your legs into a slightly abducted position. So when you drive your hips through, your glutes will feel like they're contracting a little bit more. So if you keep your feet a little bit straighter, although your glutes are still going to contract, they're not going to feel as short and then probably not feel like the prime mover. In terms of spine position, generally, you can play around with it. I would argue for glutes and hamstrings, you're going to want to try and keep your spine flexed throughout. If you're flexing and extending all the way through, then it's going to become just an erector movement. So try and keep your spine flexed and imagine doing sort of like an RDL into the pad. So you sort of thinking to drive the hips forward.
Then what if you didn't choose an RDL for the rest of your training career?
He's obviously chose the hyperextension.
Yeah.
Play around with the positioning of the machine as well, because obviously some of them are adjustable. Some of them, if it is just a fixed machine, you could elevate it by putting like plates under the front or under the back. Because again, depending on the individual, you might feel you get a little bit more out of it. If it's a bit more upright, you might feel like you get a little bit more out of it if it's more prone. But yeah, like again, everybody's individual. There's going to be some difference there. So trial and error it, play around with your foot position, play around with the load, because a lot of time people try and load them too heavily before they've actually built the movement up yet. So focus on the execution, focus on getting a connection first, but also don't be just searching for the hamstrings, because you're going to get hamstrings and glute. What you don't want is lower back if you're trying to target the hamstrings and glutes. So keep your spine flexed. Imagine keeping your chin tucked, keeping your spine curled round, and like say thinking to like do an RDL or a hip thrust into the pad, rather than thinking to sort of bring your back up, think to bring your hips forward. And also the range of motion won't feel huge. A lot of the time people are expecting a larger range of motion when all that's going to do is it's just going to be spinal extension at the top.
Yeah, that's all good. I've only got like 2 more, mate, so if you want to go through yours, feel free.
Perrin asked, do either of you think that you'll feel the pressure to bring your client's best package to stage this year? And he put, is pressure a privilege?
Course, and yeah, you should. Like as a coach, I think there should be a level of pressure. You should always have pressure. If you're going in and you're like, oh, I'll be sound, like you probably just don't care. Like I think the pressure's mint, like it's nice. It's the same as what the pressure you place upon yourself when you compete. It's, if anything, you want to demonstrate your client's best package, which is not only like, and also because you invest in the process. Like any client that steps on stage, it's not just going to be where you literally take over the second they start prep and you've not built up a good relationship. Like you probably would have seen this person in person, you know their goals, your goals are similar with them, and that's part of being a good coach. So yeah, I definitely say there's a level of pressure, 100%, and that's how it is. I think that's the exciting part. That's the reason what we do is quite addicting, because it's like, oh, you kind of go off that pressure and you think, yeah, more of it is never going to be a bad thing.
Yeah, I think the more pressure you're under, and like obviously we'll be realizing this as well now, like generally the better you're doing.
Yeah.
And the more that I think like this is good and I want to feel like this and I should feel like this. If I want to be successful as a coach, I should be feeling under pressure. I don't want to be coaching people that don't put me under pressure. You know what I mean? To an extent, in terms of, not necessarily them putting me under pressure, but their goals and their mindset, like that should make that is ideally the same as mine in terms of, right, this is what I want for you. This is what I want you to get out of it. So, yeah, I think if you're not feeling like that in any job as well, or in your own training or in anything, if you're not putting yourself under any form of pressure, you're not really gonna get where you want to get.
Yeah, no, I agree. You want to feel like you're an opposing striker against Virgil van Dijk, Canate, Fabinho, Hendo and Thiago just snapping away at you. That's what
Lindelof.
Lindelof, Maguire. Champions League Varane.
Mate, Varane fucking can't even run.
Diabolical, mate. But he's won like 4 Champions Leagues, so he must be the best defender in the world.
I've never understood why people have rated him, but
he's a side piece. He's a side piece in any big team. He's never been a leader of the defense. He's a side man. That's why he's not a bad side man. I just don't think he's not Sergio Ramos. He's not a Virgil van Dijk. You know, he's not one of them kind of leaders of a CB.
I'm ready to go again.
Yeah, go for it, mate.
Miles asked, "How are you doing?" And obviously, you've answered that at the beginning, but appreciate you asking, Miles, mate. Christian 6412. Advice you would give someone starting a job as a PT in a commercial gym? Well, Reece wouldn't know because he's never been a PT, because he's not even a good coach, because you've got to be a PT before being a coach.
You've got to start. You've got to have experience on the gym floor. You've got to have experience on the gym floor. Put yourself out there, talk to people. Don't go on your phone, put your phone in the locker. Be approachable. Be willing to offer free help. Just because remember, a sale is never. Then what is it? A sale is.
Slow it down.
Okay. A sale is. Oh mate, I don't even know what was the line.
Is it like
you're never dead? And it's like you should offer free coaching call, training plan. Like,
slow down. Speaking way too fast, mate.
Way too quick. So basically, yeah, you need to offer a time. You need to think, you probably have to do a few favors. Offer maybe writing up a guy training plan or whatever. If you can get a good rapport with a few individuals in the gym, they most likely are like, oh, this guy knows what he's talking about. They might have somebody who goes, oh, I'm looking at a PT. Someone sends you their way. Cool. You've got yourself one client. Once you've got, let's say, a couple of clients, don't be going on your phone. Again, put, let's say, your sole attention in that hour to the individual that you're PTing. Make sure you're not just smashing them with sessions. So, for example, like you're actually maybe logging their sessions, logging their numbers, logging their performance, giving them almost extracurricular kind of activities in the sense of like what they're doing afterwards. So like coaching sheets, setting them up with actually not just, right, here's your hour session per week, that's 30 quid. You're actually giving them a lot more for their money, so they're actually almost progressing in that way. That can therefore be social media content that you can put out, and it's all about kind of churning a good wheel between obviously having a good relationship with these people in person, having a good relationship with people in the gym, being helpful, being genuinely quite a nice individual like that's going to be approachable, and then also, let's say, social media, putting marketing stories up that you might not, let's say, think this is content, like in the sense of sign up, join my PT or whatever, but people will know what you're doing. At least you're putting yourself out there. But unfortunately, the vast majority of PTs don't do that. They do the exact opposite. They sit on their phone in the staff room on their phone, and then they don't get any clients. And after 3 months, they're like, "Oh, this is shit. I wonder why." And they don't actually have the education to go behind it. So educate yourself. Don't just be like, you can get a PT call, and that's not going to teach you how to be a good PT or a good coach. You need a lot more than that.
The actual stats must be mental in terms of how many people have a PT qualification and how many can actually make a decent income from it.
Yeah,
because
I think it must be because it's one of the easiest things to get in the sense of you pay money, you then like she's just do a course, you then get in a thing, and then you can literally just go and work, but it requires so little. Like you can buy 3 boxes of shreddies at this point, pretty much, and if you get all the scratch cards and send them off, you'll get a free PT qual.
You get your Miami Pro card.
Exactly, Miami Pro card and your PT qual, and then you'll be set.
Same time.
Yeah, you'll be set.
Right. Thomas Hemmings, he asked about how is Reece going to mentally cope. You've already answered this, yeah?
Yeah.
He's not going to tot himself. And then he asked,
go back. We started in 2022.
Top 5 listeners of the podcast.
Yeah. Wait, what's this? What? Wait, I only heard who's the top 5? Who's the top 5 listeners?
Yeah.
Okay, sound. AJ Bauer.
AJ Bauer and Will Bertolini got to be up there.
Will Bertolini. I'm trying to think who else. Can we say AJR PCA Pro just based on the fact that he's looking good?
He's got a good physique.
because we might not actually listen to them all, but we'll say him.
Who tags us a lot? We've got to think of people that tag us a lot, because that's when you're a real good listener.
JP Law.
JP Law, Josh.
Yeah, Josh. Yeah. Is it? Oh, I said Jack. Sorry.
Yeah, Josh.
Yeah, it's Josh actually. Yeah, JP Law.
That's 4. Wait. We've got to think about it.
Yeah, who tags us in loads of stories about? Oh, mate, Charlie Everell. He literally is like.
Yeah, Everlast is always in, isn't he?
Yeah, he's always in.
Charlie Everell. Should have said him first. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, I know. He probably sat there like on his sofa.
Pick me. Pick me.
I'm the number 1. And then he was like 1. I'm not number 1. I'm not 2. I'm not 3. He's, like,
he's sweating. Why did I pick me?
Is there anyone that we forgot? Like anyone? Like,
mate, there's loads like that are great listeners. Yeah. If you think we forgot you, message us and we'll say, well, obviously you don't tag us enough.
Yeah, exactly. Tag us in more.
Is Andy Bewley?
Yeah. He asked a question. He was one of the guys who asked the question about.
Yeah, he's asked me one, and he does like a tag. He's a good lad. Mackenzie likes a tag.
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
Will Jones.
Yep, Will Jones.
Strong listener.
Very strong listener. Right. What was Andy's question? Have you already answered it?
No, I'm nearly on that one. But Joe Lee Fitness, are you enjoying training without the big cheat while his moves recover? I've only had 2 sessions, mate.
And you turned up late to both of them.
And I turned up late to both, yeah. Because I'm just so busy, such a coach. And my clients come first. My training's irrelevant now that I'm so busy.
I saw a coach say like that you can't be a good coach if you pursue your own bodybuilding endeavors, something like that. Like, you know, like
it was Tom.
Was it? Is that what he put?
Yeah.
We're shit coaches.
We are, mate. Obviously. To be fair, I get it to an extent, but I also think, without being rude, I think it's a bit of a cop-out from coaches who are really busy, who are just like, oh, it's impossible. It's like, it's not impossible. Like, I guarantee, and it'll be the same with you, like, all of our clients know that the service is very, very good and that we get back to them in really good time and we give them loads of care, but we still have our own structure, have our own meal timings, have our own training timings. And they respect that a lot. They're going to respect that a lot as well. Like, if I had a coach who was telling me, if let's say I was slacking in terms of meal timings and they were telling me, mate, you need to sort this out. This could be the 1% that, you know, could win you a show compared to the next guy. Mm-hmm. And they're having 1 meal a day and posting about it on Instagram all the time about, oh, I've only had 1 meal. Like, I'd be like, mate, you need to sort of lead from the front and, you know, provide me with an example. That's, I think, partly with coaching. No, it's not all about that, don't get me wrong, but I think you should hire someone who you have respect for and look up to an extent, not like, oh, they're on a pedestal, like, not like that, but just think, well, they're doing it, they're walking the walk. If they can do it and they've got this amount of clients and they can give this service and this amount of care and still pursue their own training, then surely I can. Like, that's how I would look at it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do get that, but I also think maybe at the top level, yeah, fair play. Like, if you're coaching loads of guys at the Olympia, then yeah, you know, realistically, are you going to be putting that much focus on yourself when you're that high level coach? Probably not. But
anyway, there's a bit of a tangent, mate. How has it been in the 2 sessions without me?
Yeah, it's been fantastic.
Oh, thanks.
I feel strong.
Do you? And do you tell everybody, like, oh God, I'm just so strong?
I've never seen anybody, seven plates and a 5 on the shoulder press.
Never seen anybody do
that. Huh?
Did you say I've never? Oh God, that was hard.
I've never seen anybody do that. No, I'll do my set, and then it's quite nice not having to be like, oh, let's put another 50 kilos on because I'm a big cheat. Yeah. It's like, I'm the big boy here now. I'm the big boy in town.
Yeah, it's like everybody thinks they're a gangster until the real gangster turns up. Now you're the gangster. Like, you think you're the real gangster, you know, because I'm not there. What's it like when what's about the cat, the mice's play? When the cat's not there, the mice is play. You're a mouse.
Mice.
It's the mouse. The mouse. The mouse is the mice. The mice is not mice. It's the mice.
Fucking hell.
There we go, mate. I'm trying to think at the top of my head what these sayings are. I don't know what.
Right. This is from Andy Bewley. We need to hurry up as well because I need to go to eat.
No, I'm the same. I need to eat and eat. So yeah, we'll wrap it up at 5 or whatever.
He said deadlift/stiff leg deadlift. Do you?
He loves a hip hinge, doesn't he?
Huh?
He loves a hip hinge. One question for me. One question for you about hip hinges.
Oh, was it that him? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you personally prefer dead stop or touch and go? then you put love the pod. Cheers, mate.
Yeah, thanks. You just must love doing like pulls in his Mercedes, and he's the only one I know about his car. Because
He has got a nice car.
Yeah, he has got a nice car. He's got a nice steering wheel. I don't know. It might be an awful car from the outside. Next time, mate, take a photo of you listening to the pod with your car straight in front of you, and just have the pod so small in the corner, and then we'll just share it. Nice car, that. That's good to be fair, mate. Nice. So yeah, I personally think like it really depends. Like if you break down from the floor, like an almost tap and go is what we'd most likely probably say would be better. Like if you break down from that initial pull. Then being said, like I think when skill level isn't too high, like a newer experienced individual when it comes to training, I usually would just say dead stop. It's a deadlift for a reason. It can very easily become like a tap and go to a bounce and go, and it's like where you're playing basketball with the bar half the time. But again, it's one of those kind of situations where it's very person dependent. If it suits you and it feels good and you can progress with it and it's consistent, tap and go or dead stop doesn't really make a difference with me.
Yeah, like I literally program, like I'll put in my exercise cues, dead stop or tap and go, dependent on execution. And then I'll get them to basically try both and see which they prefer and which I'm happiest with. But yeah, like I dead stop because it helps in terms of getting my back tight every single rep. But obviously you kind of do it in between, don't you really? Like you don't completely tap and go and bounce off the floor, but you don't completely dead stop and breathe into the bottom. So yeah, it just depends. I'm weird.
I'm always tight, so like I can brace really well without actually like letting like it's never a bounce, but I can just snap into the next rep. Like once the set goes, I'm like, yep, just pull. So mine's like it's a dead stop, but because I don't reset in between, like Finn will do a rep, let the bar roll forward, pull again. Then I
don't roll it forward.
No, but you'll allow like yourself, like my reps are like bang, 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 where yours are like bang, bang, bang. What do I mean? Yeah. It's
mine are a dead stop and yours are a hybrid.
But mine, there's no momentum in it. That's the thing. Because about a tap and go is like where you tap and then it's on the initial, like on the change of direction. It's a strange one to see. It's more of a dead stop, definitely. Like, and I prefer that. Because I've done tap and goes. I always think the margin of error is there because you might do a rep that you just kind of misgroove slightly.
Yeah, one side hits before the other.
I always try not to. Like I've done it on a few like high rep back off sets before, and I always just think it goes to shit. Like it's never a good sort of pattern for me.
Have you got any more questions?
Hubert02000 tips for starting YouTube. Love the podcast. Keep it up, guys. With a fist emoji. Well, thanks, Hubert. Doing very well.
Thanks, Hubert, mate.
Yeah, thanks, Hubert. Hopefully you're doing well.
Thanks, Hubert.
Hubert, I will say, mate, you have got some legendary. Like me and Finn still remember a few things about training with you when we were in my shed. The tap off your nose. That was fantastic.
That was the best rep ever.
Yeah, the best rep I've ever seen. High incline press, just bounced the bar straight off the end of his nose.
It wasn't a high incline, it was a flat.
Was it a flat press?
Oh, it was low incline. I'm sure it was a flat. Yeah, and he was like...
I remember, do you remember when he like bottled like a lateral raise and then punched the door?
Oh God, yeah, he proper whacked it.
Yeah, they're like, so basically like Hubert was in the first I think he was in the first year of properly training. And so like it was like we were trial and error and like just mate, do this, do that, and he'd do things where he wouldn't be able to like match what we were doing because he'd just mess up on a rep or whatever. And like me and Finn would have him for it. We'd be like, mate, like this got to be better. And he like bottled a lateral raise set or something, and then he just threw the dumbbell down and punched the door and just cut his knuckles. And he expected me and Finn to. He was like, and we were like, why the fuck did you do that? Like it was almost like he expected us to go, mate, what the hell? Like
you remember when he like. Well, it was every day. He'd get up like half an hour before we trained, smash his food in, and then feel sick. And he was like throwing up after a leg extension. It was like, it's your own fault.
Yeah. Good days they were, mate. They were fun. But yeah, tips for starting YouTube, mate.
Hire Pete. YouTube.
Hire Pete?
No, don't need to hire Pete. We didn't hire Pete when we started YouTube.
Just do your videos.
Literally
talk about your training.
Film it on your iPhone, because you probably most people have an iPhone or whatever phone you've got. Film it on that. Don't spend any extra money on getting a flashy camera or anything. You don't need to. Film it on your phone. Film your training sessions. Talk about your training sessions. Film a full day of eating. Film a day in the life. Film whatever you want to film and just post it and don't give a shit. Like you're going to get people from school being like, oh, he does YouTube or whatever. It's
I don't even think nowadays, like you don't even see those people. Fuck it. Like just put your training up. Like literally for Hubert, he could talk about being coached. He could talk about how his training is, like his progressions. I mean, he's looking good. Like, it's not where people would look at Hubert's physique and go, oh shit, he actually has muscle. Like, he needs more muscle, but it's not where he looks bad at all. Like, he would be absolutely fine posting his training and talking about it. So have some confidence, mate, and just literally put some videos up and just see how they do. Right. Do you want me to? I think I might have one more, maybe. Do you have any more, mate? Do you
want to hurry up then.
Okay, Sam, last one. What was your course on prep? Does that mean like cycle? Yeah, I don't know, mate. If you're on about cycle, can't tell you actually, bro. I'm not allowed to say. It's just, the podcast is not a place.
That much.
It's just that much. Yeah, so basically, it was T3, Clen, T4, your Himbine every single day. It was Tren, Test, Mast, Anavar, Anadrol, Superdrol, Halodrol. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Primo, Winstrol.
Winstrol when you started prep, wasn't it?
Yeah, Winstrol straight away. 10 grams of creatine and 3 fish oils a day, and just vibes. No food, just vibes. That's what we went with. So yeah, that's the cycle. That's the course.
For anybody thinking we're being serious, please don't think we're being serious. This is from someone called Lewis. He said, will we ever see Finn become a bigger cheat than Reece?
Finn?
No.
Why not? Do you think it's disgusting and horrible?
I'm a good person. No, I've spoke about this before. Go back and listen to all our podcasts to find out why I'm not a big cheat. Although Reece does try and tempt me all the time.
Always tempt him. Like, Finn, trust me, mate, you need to jump on. Like, trust me, there's no side.
You need to get to your full potential. That's what you're always telling me, don't you? Yeah. Don't know why you don't want to just get to your full potential, mate. Yeah, cheers, mate. Right, one more, and then I'm going to go through Oren's story. Oren is basically.
No, go through GB Fitness's one. Do your one more, and we'll go through GB Fitness. We'll do it quick.
That's not be long.
Yeah.
This is from Will Razzo. What % dark chocolate is the most you can hack? I could probably hack 100%.
Yeah, I'm
fucking solid.
Fucking hard. I'd do 100. Should we do a dark chocolate challenge where we just eat and go?
Imagine 90%. Oh, I just can't do
it. Smell. Oh, I don't think I could do it. Fit you first. Be fucking embarrassing. Imagine being handle it. Right, so GB Fitness. Heard you want more fun facts? So here's mine. When I was a baby, I lived in Paris with my mum and dad. One day, my mum and her friend Olivia were on a walk with a baby G, so baby girl, in a pram. A man approached Olivia, and took her to one side and asked if the baby was hers. She replied no and said it was mum's. The man turned to my mum and asked how much she'd be willing to sell me for my hair. Olivia apparently saw red and started screaming at him, and he ran off. But fun fact, I could have ended up in a child trafficking ring. Well, that would have explained a lot. Thanks for that, girl.
He wanted ginger locks.
Yeah, you saw Ginger Hube and no Ginger Gull. I said Hubert because it's fucking on my mind. Ginger Gulliver, and thought I need a bit of his hair. That's what it is.
It's a pretty fun fact. Cheers, mate.
Yeah.
My lighting looks really weird as it's getting darker outside.
Yeah, I look just like orange. I look like I've been on the beds.
Right, you ready?
Go for it.
So this is from Oren O'Neill 5. Says, have you ever had a bad reaction to any supplement? Recently, I took my sister's grape-flavored my protein pre-workout as I was out of MV pre. A diabolical decision. Off the bat, it resembled the taste of red wine me and my mates drank when we were 15. Sorry, it says it's running out of time again. When we were 15, vile. 5 minutes after consumption, I was on the toilet fighting for my life. Not ideal. I knew something wasn't right when after my 5 minutes on the Stairmaster, I was soaked in sweat and my head was pounding. Over the course of the next half hour, I attempted to kick off my leg session. After frequent trips to the toilet to try and not shit myself and intensified cold sweats, I knew I was in trouble. Went out for some fresh air and it kept getting worse. Tried to soldier on with the session, but I was on death's door. This must be what Finn felt like after the bad Nando's. I was fucked. It does sound similar, mate. I had to walk out of my session, ring my mother to collect me, as I was genuinely on death's door, all over this pre-workout. I went home, stripped off my clothes, and lied in the fetal position for genuinely hours till the sweats, migraine, and just absolutely horrifying feeling went away. So for anyone listening, don't take my protein grape pre. Don't tell Tristan, because whatever's in it nearly done me in. This was the only time I ever walked out of a session since Finn taught me how to train, and I wouldn't do it without good reason, but that shit nearly killed me. Genuinely the sickest I've felt in a long time, whatever's in it. And then he put a sick face. And he also sent me a photo. Where is he? He put, I hope you got my 19 question boxes, but this was the pre in question, and I would rather take fentanyl-laced drugs than touch that shit again.
I don't know what that is.
I don't. It hasn't. Hello? Hello, have you started food? Thank you. I messaged her on WhatsApp.
Yeah. I need a meal. I need a meal now.
I messaged you about 10 minutes ago saying, can you start food?
And she's only started now?
Yeah.
Mermaid. You got to sort her out. That's going to be sorted out, right?
On the podcast, and we'll have a talk, right?
Yeah. On the podcast. I messaged you 10 minutes ago, Shannon. Where have you been? You've been downstairs? We need to tell her. Right. Is that it?
That's it, yeah. Shannon, do you want to do the outro? She's busy doing dinner.
Busy doing dinner. 10 minutes late. Fucking 10 minutes late. That's what you're saying. End up. I fucking messaged you. That's what's going to happen. Pray for Shannon. Hashtag pray for Shannon. So, yeah. That's that. Another episode. Hopefully everyone's enjoyed. Thanks for all the questions. AKA Finn thought he was a lot more popular than he actually was. So the 12k followers, mate, that's probably fake. Fake followers is what it is. But no, as always, thanks for the questions. Thanks for the story tags. Thanks for everybody who listens. We catch you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.